Hey guys, Addison Smith here with EverythingChurchPro.com, the website that takes the stress and the hassle out of training excellent church members, as well as taking the intimidation out of technology and church media. I'm Addison Smith, and today what we're going to be talking about is livestream. Is it possible to make livestream incredibly simple, as well as do it on a budget? Because I know most of us don't have thousands of dollars to be spending on this. I know that I got a quote for like $15,000 to $20,000 just for a switcher board. Does it have to be that expensive, or can a small church do it on a budget? The answer is yes, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Now, I'll provide resources below, as well as a cheat sheet for you with 5 things that you need in order to get your live stream up and running. But without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright guys, hey, if you enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, make sure you subscribe to see more things made simple. And this is the beginning of a series about how to set up church live stream. And I'm going to show you from extremely simple to multi-camera setups, and it's all going to be with a budget in mind. Okay, so if you're a tiny church just getting started, but you feel like God wants you to live stream it out onto maybe YouTube or Facebook, this is going to be as simple as it gets, and we'll build from this foundation. So, live stream. If you look at my head here, okay, you see I have 2 eyeballs, right? And that's for taking in information. But then there are these nerves called the optic nerves that bring that information that I see into my noggin, into my brain, where it's processed. And then my brain can take that information and send it out via my big mouth here. All right? Now, live stream is very, very similar. We need something to take the information in, like our eyeballs, and that's the camera. And so maybe you're sitting there thinking, man, Addison, what kind of camera should I use? There are thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of cameras on the market, and people are saying use this camera and use that camera. What kind of camera can I use? I'll make it simple, all right? If it has an HDMI output, and you can take that camera and plug it into your TV, and you can show people, you can look around and see your little kids running around or whatever else, that camera will work. Now, it might be a cheap camera, it might be an expensive camera. Probably the more expensive you go, the nicer the footage will look. But as long as it can send video out, that camera works. Now, if you want to know what camera I use for the live stream setup that I have, I'll link the entire kit down below. Okay, so you don't need to stress about which camera. If you want to just follow my blueprints, I'll try to make a few different kits. One on an extreme budget, one with a multicam setup that I personally use for the church that I have set up, and I'll make a few different kits so that you can choose what's best for you. But literally, it's so simple. If the camera can send out live video, you're in the game, you're in the ballpark, you're ready, okay? Now, your eyeball has to figure out how to send video from it into the brain, into the computer. And so what we're going to use is that HDMI cord. Now, most cameras now come with a short HDMI, and it comes with a tiny little micro HDMI that goes into the camera, and then a normal HDMI on the other side. But usually that's not going to reach to the computer, so we need to figure out a way to make it longer. And that's where this adapter will come into play. Something that can take the small HDMI and connect it to a much longer HDMI. I'll link to an adapter below. I'll put it in the kit so you don't have to be stressed out about which one to buy. But now, essentially, you have maybe a 50, 75, up to 100 feet long of a cord. I wouldn't go much longer with that with HDMI, but if you have a 100-foot run, now you have a 100-foot long HDMI cord that you can snake through wherever you need to and finally come up to the computer. But if you were to try to plug that HDMI cord into the back of your computer, I'm going to warn you, spoiler alert, okay? It's not going to work. I tried it. Trust me. When I was setting up the live stream here, I had to just go on trial and error. I plugged it into the back and I was so frustrated. I was like, man, why is there no camera coming up on my computer? How come I cannot get anything inside? And I realized I was missing a vital piece. You see, the HDMI port on your computer is trying to send information that way, Okay, it's putting it out towards a monitor, like what you would see that I used to call the computer. It's putting it out to the monitor. It's not trying to receive information. So we have a flow of video coming this way, and we plug it into something that's trying to shoot this way. It's not going to work. So what we need is something that will organize this flow and put it into a port that can actually take it in. And that's where a capture card comes in handy. I can walk you through which one I use. I use one from Blackmagic, but we'll talk about capture cards and those things more specifically later. Right now I just want to give you an overview. So now you have the HDMI into your capture card and the capture card into the brain, into the computer. Here's where it gets super easy and super free. OBS software is completely free. You download it on your computer, and that's how you can bring this in and send it out. Completely free to maybe YouTube or Facebook. This is as simple as Livestream gets. Now I want to go into details, but I want to keep this video short. If you have any more questions, make sure you leave them in the comments below. But this is all it takes to set up a live stream. In the videos to come, I'll show you my exact live stream setup, how I get my cameras to pan and tilt and zoom, and how I set up my OBS settings and bring the camera video in or get sound. All of those questions in videos to come. But if this was a help to you, make sure you leave a thumbs up and subscribe and use the links below to check out your own custom video setup. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next video.